Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles with Earl Purdy. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles. We're going to get down.
Love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one.
This is Earl Purdy. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles.
Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to choose him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one.
We're one.
Yeah, yeah, we are one.
We are one.
Oh, we are one.
Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles on Facebook Live. I'm Earl Raj Purdy, and this presentation is especially for Hardcore Course in Miracles students who I assume are really doing some study and want to take advantage of my almost 40 years of teaching and learning A Course in Miracles. I'm here to save time, and I'm excited to see where we go to, because I don't know where the Holy Spirit, the voice for God, is going to take us. But I'm excited. Aren't you?
You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Oh, we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one. I am you, and you are me.
And that was Brother John Christmas at www.johnchristmas.com. You can get his music and download it from the Course in Miracles. That's my brother. Well, mighty companions, we are going to be, well, before I actually go there, let me get everything started here. All right. So we're going to get into the Course in Miracles. This is hardcore Course in Miracles. I'm ready to go hardcore. And remember, our goal is to hear it. I am a messenger. I am a messenger. I love this book. I love what's being said in this book. And I want to be a conduit and a channel for you to and for me to hear this, which means you don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of it you're going to find hard to believe and startling. The Course in Miracles says you are not being asked to judge the ideas. Use the ideas and you will see that the ideas will give you peace of mind. The goal of the Course is peace. The goal of A Course in Miracles is peace. The goal of the Course in Miracles is not knowledge. I have been a student and a teacher of the Course in Miracles for almost 40 years. I have taught the Course in Miracles full time. That's all I've done primarily in the world for 30 years because of how much I believe what A Course in Miracles is teaching. And I want to be a channel for the Course in Miracles to those people who resonate to the way that I am and the way that I teach and the way that I share. I know that I won't appeal to everybody. That's okay. And you have to be okay about not appealing to everybody. But if you be true to yourself and do what you're called to do and get in touch with your spiritual purpose, you will attract to you. The people will be sent to you who need you just the way you are. Isn't that awesome to know that there are people who you absolutely benefit just being exactly the way you are? So I'm Earl Purdy, and I'm going to be in the Foundation for Inner Peace Course in Miracles book, Chapter 6, The Lessons of Love, on page 108. On 108, I'm going to be doing this session, Be Vigilant Only for God and His Kingdom. Be vigilant only for God and His Kingdom. Now, I want you to know I can see all of your comments. All right. And even when I finish doing the presentation, I go back and look at your comments. And so just realize that us being here live, that's something very powerful. So and I want to dive into it. I'm not going to wait. Okay. Page 108, 108. Somebody come online. Please let them know we're on page 108. Be vigilant only for God and His Kingdom. Chapter 6, The Lessons of Love. Now, the Course in Miracles, one of the things that the Course in Miracles says over and over and over again is, don't forget, remember. Jesus says, don't forget, remember. That's right. Jesus is the voice of the Course in Miracles. I know that can create a lot of charge for some people, but no matter what your reaction is, that's who the voice of the Course claims to be. And that isn't so important. That Jesus says that's not so important. But if you were to be open to the idea that the being called Jesus, who is not a body, exists and is guiding us, then you could be helped a little bit more. So I'm gonna use a lot of the Course in Miracles definitions for these words as I read it, so that we can hear what I call almost like a modern language version of the Course. Let me give you an example. The title of this section on 108 in the text is Be Vigilant Only for God and His Kingdom. Be vigilant, be vigilant, be vigilant only for God and His Kingdom. The Course in Miracles says God is love, and the Course in Miracles says that kingdom is also love and also reality. So you could say, be vigilant only for love and its reality. That's what the name of the section is. Be vigilant only for God and His Kingdom. It's the same as saying, be vigilant only for love and its expression, love and its reality. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is that I'm going to be on the lookout for love. I'm going to be on the lookout for truth. And I'm going to be on the lookout for freedom. and I'm going to be on the lookout for union. These are all definitions of love from the Course in Miracles. So God is love, God is freedom, God is truth, God is our creator, God is the universe, God is all that is, God is what we are. So I got to be vigilant for God, and I'm going to be vigilant for God's kingdom, which is love. So that's what we're going to be talking about, and that's what we're going to be hearing. We're going to hear the Course in Miracles talk about vigilance. Now, I want to invite you to really tune in with each other and tune in with me. We're not going to analyze the Course. I do not analyze the Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles itself says analyzation is of the frightened, fearful, wrong mind. So in terms of the Course in Miracles, analyzing is wrong. It's not the right way to do it, according to the Course. So it says what we need to do is to remember. Remember what? I need to remember to be vigilant. You need to remember to be vigilant for love and love's reality. The first sentence says, we said before that the Holy Spirit is evaluative. Now, who is the Holy Spirit? What is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit, according to the Course, the Holy Spirit is the voice of God in you. The Holy Spirit is the God in you, the inner teacher in you, the love in you, the right mind in you. The Holy Spirit is that part of you that is aware of God and love and truth, and at the same time is aware of you, thinking that you are a person in the world trying to make it. So the Holy Spirit is another term for the voice of love. And so it's telling us to be vigilant for the voice of God. So the first sentence says, before the Holy before, as we said before, that the Holy Spirit is evaluative. So God's voice in you is evaluative and must be. So when you say you want to be vigilant for love, you're going to have to do some right evaluation. When you say you want to have only happiness, you have to do some right evaluation. And the voice for God in you evaluates things, and the voice of God in you must evaluate things. So the voice for love evaluates. The voice of God inside of you evaluates. So what is the Course in Miracles doing? The Course in Miracles is teaching us the difference between love and fear. The Course in Miracles is teaching you the difference between when you're listening to the voice that's telling you the truth, and it teaches you how to know when you're listening to the voice that is going to lie to you and deceive you. The Course in Miracles says the voice of God in you must be evaluative. So what does that mean? So whenever you are studying A Course in Miracles, whenever you're reading the book, and that's my favorite thing to do, is to read the book, you will see that the Course in Miracles doesn't read like regular books. Jesus already knows the questions you're going to ask yourself even before you ask them. So the Course in Miracles is written as if it anticipates what it is that you are going to need to know. So what does it mean to be evaluative? He says the Holy Spirit sorts out the true from the false in your mind. So love is going to teach you how to tell the difference between what's true and what's false. The voice of God inside of you is going to teach you the difference between what's true and what's false, and teaches you to judge every thought you allow to enter your mind. Okay, so what did it just tell us in the next part of the sentence? That the Holy Spirit is going to teach you to judge or evaluate every thought that you have. I say it again. the Holy Spirit, the voice of God inside of you, is going to teach you that you need to evaluate every belief and every thought that you let come into your mind. So you're supposed to judge every thought that comes into your mind. And how do you do that? He says you do it in the light of what God put there. I'm going to judge everything that comes into my mind based on the truth that love has put in my mind. The Course in Miracles says that we have to start evaluating every thought that we have, and we need to evaluate whether or not that thought is false or true based on whether or not it agrees with what love would tell you to do, what the Course would tell you to do. Let me give you a little tip if you're a real Course in Miracles student. Okay, the Course in Miracles itself is the correct perception. It is the words of the Holy Spirit, Jesus, God. Okay, so if I'm a Course in Miracles student and I'm trying to learn how to tell the true from the false, and I've decided that the Course in Miracles is my path, then I'm going to evaluate everything that I'm thinking based on, is it agreeing with what the Course in Miracles is teaching me, or is it not agreeing with what the Course in Miracles is teaching me? What I'm thinking right now, does it really go into agreement with what the truth teaches, or is it something that's totally opposite to what the truth teaches? So whatever you're thinking right now, you're supposed to know what the Course in Miracles teaches well enough that you can say, oh, okay, I'm thinking this thought. Is this thought really in alignment with the Course or not? I'm thinking this thought. Is this thought really in alignment with the peace? Is this thought in alignment with freedom? Is this thought in alignment with joy? What I'm telling myself right now, I need to judge it based on whether or not it's in alignment with what God put in my mind, the love, the truth. Now, the next sentence says, whatever is in accord with this light, and the Course in Miracles defines light as truth or love. Those are just two of the definitions. Whatever is in accord with this truth, the Holy Spirit retains to strengthen the love in you. Okay, so the love in you, whatever you think that's loving, whatever you think that's true, the Holy Spirit keeps that in your mind and uses your loving thoughts to strengthen the kingdom in you, which is to strengthen the love in you. So the love in you is going to keep every thought that you have that is loving, and is going to use every thought that you have that is loving to strengthen the love and the truth in you. So the Holy Spirit is your loving right mind. The Course in Miracles defines the Holy Spirit as right-mindedness, right-mindedness. So what is in accord with the truth, what is in accord with the truth, what is in accord with the truth, the Holy Spirit retains. So your inner teacher, your right-mindedness, keeps whatever you're thinking that makes you stronger. Your God mind keeps everything that you think that makes you happier and stronger. What is partly in accord with the truth, the Holy Spirit accepts and purifies. So the Holy Spirit takes the stuff that you think that's partially true and corrects it. So the Holy Spirit takes the thoughts that you have that are partially true and then purifies it. I'm going to accept what you're thinking, and then I'm going to correct it. See, that's what the Holy Spirit does. The Holy Spirit in you, your right mind takes the thoughts that you have that are not completely true and then corrects them, purifies them. And then it says, but what is out of accord entirely what you're thinking that don't make no sense at all, that don't have no truth in it whatsoever, whatever you're telling yourself, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're believing, that's not based on the truth at all, like you are a victim, like you are a body, like you're lacking in some way, like you're not free. Any of the thoughts that you have that are completely untrue, what's out of accord entirely, the Holy Spirit rejects by judging against. So, okay, so when you're in your right mind, the Holy Spirit part of you, when you're in your right mind, what you're going to do is you're going to keep all the loving thoughts, because you know that loving thought is going to make you stronger. All your thoughts that are not really that loving, that are not completely true, then the love in you is going to accept that thought and correct that thought and purify that thought. And then it says the Holy Spirit is going to reject. Your loving right mind rejects any thought that is not the truth. So your loving right mind, the Holy Spirit has 3 ways of dealing with your thoughts. If you're thinking something that's really cool, if you're thinking something that's really great, that's powerful, that's loving, then the Holy Spirit in you, the God in you, the truth in you, it's going to keep that thought, and it's going to keep that thought so that it can strengthen you even more. If you have some thoughts that are not completely true, that are not based on love, that are not based on peace, if you have some of those thoughts that are not completely true, then the Course in Miracles says, well, the Holy Spirit, your right mind, is going to accept that thought that's not completely correct, and is going to purify it. It's going to correct that thought. It's going to heal that thought. And then the third way that the Holy Spirit within you deals with your thoughts and your beliefs is what? Well, it rejects completely any thoughts that you think that are not completely true. So the love in you rejects the fear. The love in you rejects the anger. The love in you rejects the guilt. The love in you rejects lack. The love in you rejects loneliness. The love in you rejects sickness. The love in you rejects anything that is not based on the truth. So the Holy Spirit has 3 ways of dealing with anything that you are thinking or believing. So what are the 3 ways? What are the 3 ways that love deals with our thoughts? Number 1, love accepts any thoughts that you have that are in alignment with the truth. 2, the Holy Spirit accepts the thoughts that you have that are not completely true and purifies those thoughts, heals those thoughts. And 3, we were told that if what you're thinking or believing is not based on love and truth, or I would say, and the Course at all, then the Holy Spirit rejects that thought. It says it right here. What is out of accord entirely, love rejects by judging against. That's how love, the Holy Spirit, keeps the kingdom, which is reality, perfectly consistent and perfectly unified. So how does the Holy Spirit keep the love perfectly consistent? How does the Holy Spirit keep the love perfectly unified? Well, it said, whatever you think that's based on love, the Holy Spirit retains to make love stronger in you. Anything that you think that's partially true but not completely loving, then the Holy Spirit in you accepts that and corrects it and purifies it. And 3, anything that you think that's completely crazy and just don't make no sense and not the truth at all, the love in you, the Holy Spirit in you, rejects it. So it's okay to reject guilt. It's okay to reject fear. It's okay to reject anger. It's okay to reject lack. It's okay to reject loneliness, because all of those things are not true. Those things are not a part of love. And so it says here, that's how the Holy Spirit keeps the kingdom perfectly consistent and perfectly unified. Remember, see what I said earlier? What is that word? Remember, remember, remember. remember, 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 remember. Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. Remember, don't forget. Remember, don't forget. Remember, 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 don't forget, don't forget. Remember, remember, don't forget, don't forget. Remember, remember, don't forget, don't forget. Remember, it did not say analyze, it did not say analyze, it did not say analyze, it did not say, it did not say analyze, it did not say, it did not say analyze, it did not say, it did not say analyze, it did not say. Remember, 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 member, member, remember, 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 member, member, remember, 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 remember. Right here on the page it says remember, remember, don't forget, remember, remember, remember. Don't forget, remember. You have to remember the course. Don't analyze the course. Stop analyzing the course. Do not analyze the course. Stop analyzing the course. Don't analyze the course, students. Stop analyzing the course. Remember, remember, don't forget, remember. Remember what? That the Holy Spirit in you, the Holy Spirit in you keeps every thought that you have that's loving, and every thought that you have that's partially loving, the Holy Spirit heals. And the thoughts that you have that are not loving, the Holy Spirit rejects those thoughts. The thoughts you have that are not loving, the Holy Spirit rejects those thoughts. That's what happens. Remember, however, that what the Holy Spirit rejects, the ego accepts. So the fear in your mind accepts everything that the love in your mind rejects. So there's a part of your mind that accepts everything that love rejects. So that means what? There's a part of my mind that accepts anger. There's a part of my mind that accepts grievances, that accepts separation, that accepts projection, that accepts being a victim, that accepts lack. Remember, it said that everything the love in you rejected, the ego in you accepts. So the part of me that doesn't love me, the part of me that doesn't love me, that part of me accepts guilt and mistreatment and anger and pain and lack. What did it say? It says it right here. Remember, however, that what the Holy Spirit rejects, the ego accepts. What the loving mind rejects, the fearful mind accepts. What the loving mind rejects. So what is it that the loving mind rejects? The loving mind rejects fear, doesn't it? The loving mind rejects anger. The loving mind rejects attack. The loving mind rejects attack. So everything the loving mind rejects, everything the loving mind rejects, your ego accepts. So your ego mind, your frightened mind, your separated mind, it believes in anger, and it believes in upset, and it believes in being a victim, and it believes that somebody can hurt you. What love rejects, fear accepts. What love rejects, fear accepts. So a fearful man accepts what a loving man would never put up with. When you become more loving, you just won't put up with the stuff you put up with now. When you truly become more loving, you will not put up with anger, guilt, grievances, and attack, or loneliness, or unkindness. The more loving you become, the more you reject the ego. The more loving you become, the more you reject fearful, angry minds. So a truly loving person is not going to put up with the stuff that an insecure, fearful person puts up with. We're on page 109. 109 in the Course in Miracles text. We're in the Lessons of the Holy Spirit. We're in the section called Be Vigilant for God and His Kingdom. Yeah, that's right. Please put the location up for me. I'm going to take this slower than you have ever experienced me doing the Course in Miracles, because I want us to remember. Remember what? Remember that everything the Holy Spirit accepts, the fearful man rejects. So a fearful man rejects love. A fearful man rejects kindness. A fearful man rejects abundance. A fearful man rejects innocence. A fearful man, a separate man, a man full of anger, a man that thinks it is a body, the man that thinks it is a body, the person that is afraid or guilty, that is a person that will reject love, will reject kindness. So as you become more loving, it may appear to you that you are being rejected more. As you begin to get this and become more loving, at first, it may seem like people are judging you or rejecting you more. Why? Because what the loving man rejects, the fearful man accepts. So a loving man would be rejected by a fearful man. So fearful people tend to move away from and reject loving, kind people. A person that does not love themselves, a person that does not think they are truly valuable, will have a tendency to reject people and attack the very people who seem to be the most loving to them and the people who are trying to be the kindest to them, kind to them, because the ego is the part of your mind that has accepted all of the incorrect thinking. So the Course is only talking about a loving mind and a fearful mind. And if you want to be safe, you have to know when you are in the presence of a mind that is loving and practices the truth, and when you're in the presence of a mind that is frightened and doesn't practice the truth. And this section is telling us exactly how to tell the difference. On page 109, it says, remember, line 7 on page 109 says, remember, however, that what the Holy Spirit, what the loving right mind rejects, the fearful wrong mind accepts. This is because, see, giving us the explanation, why is it that what the Holy Spirit rejects, the ego accepts? Why is it that what the fearful mind rejects, what the loving mind rejects, the fearful mind accepts? The Course says it's because the loving part of you and the fearful part of you are in fundamental disagreement about everything. So the loving part of me and the fearful part of me don't agree on anything, and that's why I go through a lot of conflict. You see, I go through a lot of conflict because I have loving thoughts and I have fearful thoughts. I go through a lot of conflict because I have thoughts of innocence and I have thoughts of guilt. And so I have a little defense against the truth going in terms of trying to give myself a code to convince myself that I'm a body. Because if I go through some kind of pain in my body, it draws my attention to my body. And so it makes me think that I'm just a body because of the discomfort that I'm going through. So whenever I have any kind of pain or any kind of cold or anything that tries to come up like that, I have to, the Course told me that I needed to remind myself that I'm just trying to convince myself that I'm a body that's got a cold or a sore throat or whatever. That's just a way for me to be fooled into thinking that I'm not just a spiritual being inhabiting and expressing myself through the body. Any kind of cold or sickness, the purpose of it, according to the Course in Miracles, is to get you to believe you are a body. So the Course says that for instance, the part of me that thinks I'm in a body, that part of me is in total disagreement with what the Course is teaching, which is saying I'm not a body. So there's a part of me that thinks I'm not a body, and there's a part of me that thinks I am a body. So don't forget the purpose of the hardcore Course in Miracles is not for you to try to figure out how you're going to apply it yet. The purpose of the hardcore Course in Miracles class is to hear what the Course in Miracles is teaching us. What is the message? First, we want to get the message. And the message is the loving part of you and the fearful part of you are in a fundamental disagreement about everything. So there's a part of you that's in fundamental disagreement about everything. Now, the reason why there are two parts of you that are in fundamental disagreement about everything is because there are two parts of you that have a fundamental disagreement about what you are. Would you like me to elaborate on that? There's a part of you that thinks you are a body, and a part of you that knows you are not a body. There's a part of you that thinks that you are a body, the part of you that you identify with, and there's another part of you that thinks it's not a body. Okay? There's another part of you that thinks it's not a body. So the Holy Spirit in you, the truth in you, the love in you, is in fundamental disagreement with the ego, which is the part of you that thinks that pain is real, death is real, separation is real, being a body is real. The Course in Miracles says that the ego's beliefs on this crucial issue vary. So what is the crucial issue? You have a lot of different beliefs about what you are. The Course in Miracles is saying that the reason why you go through a lot of different moods, it says it right here, the ego's belief on this crucial issue. What crucial issue? Who are you? What are you? So you have a lot of different beliefs about what you are and who you are. Sometimes you are kind. Sometimes you are angry. Sometimes you are excited. Sometimes you are wise. Sometimes you are stupid. Sometimes you are kind. Sometimes you see yourself as selfish. So the Course in Miracles says that's why there's a part of you that goes through a lot of different moods. You go through a lot of different moods because of the many different beliefs that you have about what you are. So moods come from having constantly changing beliefs about who you are. A moody person is a person that's constantly changing their ideas about who they think they are. One minute I see myself as happy, the next minute I see myself as sad. One minute I see myself as free, the next minute I see myself as in some kind of limitation. Whenever you give yourself a lot of different interpretations about who you are, it makes you go through different moods. So why do you go through different moods during the day? You go through different moods during the day because you keep changing your mind about who and what you are all the time. That makes total sense to me. The next sentence says, the Holy Spirit never varies on this point. What point? The Course says, read me really slowly. I know I'm being deadly by going this slow. And I know that doing the Course in Miracles, the way that I'm doing the Course in Miracles, it may make some people no longer want to listen to me because they want me to be the way I was in the past. Some people are going to be on the exact same wavelength I'm on and be right here with me. Some people are going to need to connect up with someone who fulfills the role that I used to fill. And then sometimes you just have to choose out of relationships altogether. But I'm much more interested in showing you how to read the Course so that on your own it will be much more meaningful to you. Because at the point that you are doing your own individual study of the book accurately, that's when you will begin to see the miracles that the Course in Miracles promise. The miracles that the Course in Miracles promise, that miracle isn't going to happen if you don't know the thought system of A Course in Miracles. And as a Course in Miracles student, that should be your first priority, is to understand the thought system of A Course in Miracles before you even start worrying about how you're going to apply it. And then the Course in Miracles says that the Holy Spirit, your true self, the Holy Spirit, will protect you while you are learning to be right-minded. So you will be under divine protection while you're learning how to do this, if you are sincerely trying to do it. I need to hear that again. The Holy Spirit never varies on this point in terms of who you are. And it says in the Course in Miracles, teach only love, for that is what you are. So the part of you that loves you, it doesn't ever see you any other way but in a loving way. When someone really loves you, they only see you in a loving way. So how can I tell when I'm in the presence of someone who loves me? They consistently love me. They consistently love me. That means they consistently do not attack me. It means that they consistently free me. It means they consistently are willing to be nurturing and kind to me. That's what a loving man would do. And the Course in Miracles says the part of your mind that's frightened and fearful, it's constantly changing its mind about who and what you are. So what does that mean? It means your ego, the part of you that is not loving you, it's that part of you that says you are angry, guilty, sinful, bad, alone, lacking. Any thoughts or feelings that you have that cause you to feel contracted, that cause you to feel unhappy, those are always ego thoughts. There is never a time you have any thought that is increasing your fear that is a thought that's coming from God, or a thought that you have the correct perception of. So the Course in Miracles says the Holy Spirit never varies on this point, and so the one mood that the Holy Spirit engenders is joy. So first of all, the Course says love has only one mood. Fear has many moods. Love has one mood, and that mood is joy. So love only has one mood. Love isn't moody. A loving person isn't moody. When you're being loving, you aren't moody. Why aren't you moody? Because you're only thinking thoughts of love and thoughts of truth, so it only makes you feel happy. So a truly loving person only has one mood, joy. And a person that's not loving yet, a person that's full of fear or anger or guilt, they are constantly changing their mind about who they are. They're seeing themselves as good or bad, loving or fearful, sinful or guilty. Well, the Course in Miracles says then you're going to go through many moods. But love only don't forget the Holy Spirit is love. So love engenders the one mood in sentence 10 in paragraph 1 on page 109. It says the Holy Spirit never varies on this point. And so the one mood that love engenders is joy. The Holy Spirit protects joy by rejecting. So the Course in Miracles, to me, it's really cool. It's saying that, there's a part of us that loves to reject. So I could spend all day trying to make sure I don't reject, or I could be given a really cool use of rejection. So the Course in Miracles is giving us a really cool use for rejection. I'm really good at rejecting. Rejecting and being rejected, got that down. So I think it's brilliant that the Course in Miracles will use my desire to reject to my advantage. And that's what the Course in Miracles does. It takes the way your mind already operates to free you. So I already have a mind that rejects. So what did it say? The Holy Spirit protects joy by rejecting everything. So, what is it that the love in you is supposed to reject? What is it that you are supposed to reject? What is it that you're supposed... Now, don't analyze this answer I'm about to give you. It's going to be a strong temptation to analyze this. But I want you to hear it. It says, in sentence 11 on page 109, in paragraph 1, it says, the Holy Spirit protects joy by rejecting everything that does not foster joy. So the love, so what does that mean? It means the love in you, the joy in you, your right mind rejects everything that doesn't cause you joy. It's okay to reject anything and everything that doesn't cause you joy. It's okay to reject everything that's not love. Reject everything that is not the truth. Reject everything that is not loving and peaceful and truthful and abundant and spirit. The Course in Miracles is saying love. The Holy Spirit protects your happiness by rejecting anything that will make you unhappy. The love in you wants to reject anything or anybody that does not love you. The love in you wants to reject anything and everybody that doesn't love you. The God in you wants to reject everything and everybody that doesn't make you feel loved. Love wants to reject everything that does not foster joy. It's right there on the page. I'm not making this up. I'm not giving you my opinion of what the Course says. It is what the Course says. It says, the Holy Spirit never varies on this point. What point? The point of what you are. And so the one mood that the Holy Spirit engenders is joy. So love only causes joy. The Holy Spirit in you protects your joy. The love in you protects your joy by rejecting everything that does not foster joy. So the Holy Spirit rejects everything that doesn't cause you joy. And so the Holy Spirit alone can keep you totally joyous. So what is it that can keep you totally happy? Love is the only thing that can keep you completely happy. Real love is the only thing that can keep you really happy. The Holy Spirit, the voice for God, your right-mindedness, your inner teacher, these are all terms for the Holy Spirit. The Course in Miracles says, He alone can keep you wholly joyous. It is only God, it is only love that can keep you truly happy. The only thing that is going to truly engender joy and happiness for you is love. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It's only love that's going to satisfy you. Nothing less than love is going to satisfy you. Not anything you're seeking outside of yourself is going to make you happy unless you are doing it and experiencing it out of your love. Love is the only thing that will make you joyful. And the love in you, the part of you that loves you, is going to reject anything or anyone that does not foster joy. That's what's going to happen as you become more loving. So in other words, a really loving person, they ain't going to put up with your stuff. If you're coming out of your ego and you're trying to control, or you're angry and you're trying to judge and you're trying to manipulate, or you're trying to make somebody feel guilty so they'll do what you want them to do, or you're looking for somebody, the Course in Miracles is saying to us, that type of person who is truly loving themselves, they're going to reject you because you don't foster no joy. And that's a good thing, because that person is learning how to strengthen the love in them by only wanting to join with people who love them or people who want to love them. So if you're going to truly be in your loving mind, if you're going to truly be in your right mind, you have to reject anything that does not cause you joy. And everything that doesn't cause you joy, your ego wants to accept. There's a part of the mind that accepts what love rejects. So let me look at a few of these comments. I can't see everybody's. Dear Lord, Raven says, Dear Lord, your lessons are always spot on with what's going on in my orbit. Raven, this last week has tested so much for me, so much of what I've studied and what I'm learning. And I experienced some things that at another time I would have freaked out, been upset, gone off, lost my temper. And what I was noticing was, as I was trying to defend against the truth that I'm studying, which is, seeing myself create what could be a lot of stress or things that I could say in the past would have made me upset and unhappy, I noticed that the love in me was rejecting all of the thoughts that was coming up to try to make me feel bad or make me judge myself, just like what they're saying tonight. And then when I would have some thoughts that were partially true or partially loving, then there would be a part of me that would say, oh, no, 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 no. There's another way to look at that. There's not. So that was the Holy Spirit in me accepting what I was thinking that wasn't totally true, and then giving me another way to look at it, which would be the same as purifying it. See, when you get another way to look at something, that is the purification. It's a purification because you're not looking at it the way that used to upset you. And then there's another part of me that I noticed that was just rejecting any of the negative thoughts I was trying to give to myself. It just would not accept those thoughts. So this is the way you make the Course in Miracles practical. I don't know why people think just because I teach the Course in Miracles that some people seem to think that I don't go through what other people go through. I don't go through it as much because I practice this more than I used to. But whenever my ego, or the part of me that wants to accept what love rejects, the part of me that wants to accept that I'm not enough or that I don't deserve to be happy, when that part of me is ruling, it's always trying to produce situations and circumstances that make me feel like things aren't going good for me. I've learned that the fact that that doesn't feel good is enough to tell me that I'm telling myself something that is not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. See, if I'm feeling upset and angry, I'm thinking something that's not in alignment with the Holy Spirit. I'm not in alignment with love. So now when I'm upset, instead of looking for somebody to blame, I focus on I must not be telling myself the truth about something or I wouldn't be upset. Where I used to go, I'm going to accept the thought of anger and upset, and then I'm going to act on that thought of anger and upset. Remember, it said, what your right mind rejects, your wrong mind accepts. So just look at the Holy Spirit, like the Course in Miracles says. The Holy Spirit is your right-mindedness, and your ego is your wrong-mindedness. Just make it simple. Whatever your right mind rejects, your wrong mind believes and accepts. So if I keep rejecting the Course and rejecting the new way of thinking and rejecting love, then there's a part of me that accepts the fear and the upset that gives me. So the Course in Miracles says, you go through a lot of different moods because you keep changing your mind about your value. You keep changing your mind about who you are. And then it told us that the truth in you, the Holy Spirit in you, it just sees you one way. And the truth in you and the real you just sees you as beautiful and sees you as love and sees you as innocent. And it doesn't change its mind about that. And since the loving part of you doesn't change its mind about you, the loving part of you just causes you to feel good. It causes you to feel happy. And the way that the part of you that wants to be happy is going to stay happy. If you're happy and you want to stay happy, then the Course in Miracles says you must reject every thought that doesn't cause you happiness. You have to reject every thought that doesn't cause you happiness if you want to stay happy. Because if you stop thinking happy thoughts, then you're going to stop being happy. So you have to reject the thoughts, reject the situations and the circumstances that do not foster joy. Elizabeth says, ego craves that stuff like an addict. Diana says, I agree, Earl. I can see that I have grown in grace of God by how I can see the ego. Yeah, can I recognize that part of myself that doesn't love me? Can I recognize that part of myself that wants to hurt me? Can I recognize that part of myself that thinks that nobody could ever love me? I have to recognize that part of myself, and I have to reject that part of myself. Notice I didn't say that I needed to love that part of myself, because that part of you that thinks you're not enough is not really you. That's really just a thought you have about yourself. So you want to reject thoughts about yourself that are not loving. And if you have some thoughts about yourself that are kind of true but kind of false, you want those thoughts to be healed and corrected. And you want to strengthen all the loving thoughts that you have about yourself so that you can make the love in yourself even stronger. This is very practical. We are all students, is another comment. When I feel upset, that means not in alignment with love. See, I'm upset. I'm not in alignment with love. I'm upset with my mother. I'm not in alignment with love with my mother. I'm upset with my boss. I am not in alignment with love with my boss. I must recognize that whenever I'm upset, I am not listening to the voice of love. I am not listening to the voice of God. I am not listening to the Holy Spirit. Jacqueline says, reject every thought that does not foster joy. I'm going to reject the thoughts that don't make me feel good. Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. I know it's a possibility right now that some of your egos might be going berserk right now, right? Because I'm sharing the loving thoughts of the Course, which means I'm rejecting the thoughts that I've been taught by the world. So the part of me that believes that you can be hurt, that you can suffer, that you should love the anger and the guilt and the grievances in yourself, that part right now don't want to hear this. But I'm telling you, if you want to be happy, you have to start rejecting the thoughts that don't give you any joy. And you can even apply that to people. And that's going to really upset maybe some of you. When you really become loving, You're going to reject people who mistreat you. You're going to reject people who don't appreciate you. You're going to reject people who don't acknowledge you. You're going to reject them. And that's a good thing. Reject everything that does not foster joy. Reject everyone that does not express themselves in a loving way to you. That's what it's saying. It's right there on the page. I'm not making it up. Another comment is Andrea says, reject the thoughts and circumstances that don't foster love. When we are not in alignment with love, that's how we know that we've caused ourselves separation from our true self, which is love. So let me share something with you. The Course in Miracles is saying there is a loving self in you. There's a completely loving self in you. It's called the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is God's voice, your inner guide. Every one of us has an inner guide. Every one of us has a voice of God in us. The Course in Miracles is teaching you how to recognize which voice. Now, both voices are going to sound like your voice. So the only difference between the two voices is what the two voices are telling you. So how do you tell the ego from the Holy Spirit? By what it's saying. It said the Holy Spirit's voice, the voice of love in you, is going to cause you to feel more peaceful and more joyful. And the ego's voice, the part of you that rejects love, it's going to make you go through a lot of different fearful moods. Because the part of you that is afraid, the part of you that may believe you are a body that dies one day, that part of you, according to A Course in Miracles, that part of you is very frightened. And it's frightened of losing its life. It's frightened of losing its loved ones. It's frightened of losing. So there's a part of us that believes that we can lose, and there's another part of us that knows we can never lose. The Course in Miracles is teaching you how to tell the difference between the two voices. And it told us in the last paragraph. It said, the Holy Spirit never varies on this point of who you are, love. And so the one mood he engenders is joy. So love only engenders joy. The next sentence says he protects it by rejecting everything that does not foster joy. Love, which is the Holy Spirit, protects joy by rejecting, there it is right there in black and white, by rejecting everything that does not foster joy. And so the Holy Spirit alone, it's only love that can keep you totally joyful. Love is the only thing that's really going to make me happy. Freedom, which is love, is the only thing that's going to really cause me joy. Abundance, which is love, is the only thing that's going to engender joy. So do you see what the Course in Miracles is doing? It's telling you very clearly how to tell the difference between love and fear. And it's also telling us that it's only the Holy Spirit that can make you happy. It's only the Holy Spirit in me that can give you joy. It's only the love and the truth in me that can give you joy and happiness. It's only the love and the truth in you that can share love and happiness with me. So if we're in a relationship with each other, then we've got to reject anything that we would give each other other than love. So a real relationship is full of rejection. A real relationship is full of rejection. The rejection of unkindness, the rejection of the belief in sin, the rejection of guilt, the rejection of bargains made with guilt, the rejection of attack, the rejection of trying to blame. You see what I'm saying? We've got to use rejection in a new way, especially in our relationships. And then the next paragraph says, the Holy Spirit doesn't teach you to judge others. So love doesn't teach you, your loving mind is not going to teach you to judge anybody. It says because your loving mind does not want you to teach error, which is judging others, and learn error yourself. The Holy Spirit would hardly be consistent if the Holy Spirit allowed you to strengthen judgment and attack and fear and ego, what you must learn to avoid. So the Holy Spirit is never going to strengthen in you the things that you need to avoid. You need to avoid seeing yourself as separate. You need to avoid seeing yourself as guilty. You need to avoid seeing yourself as not enough. You need to avoid seeing yourself in any other way other than love. And it says the Holy Spirit wouldn't be consistent if the Holy Spirit was allowing us to strengthen the very kind of thinking that we should be letting go of. So love would never strengthen your fear, your guilt. In the mind of the thinker, then, the Holy Spirit is judgmental. So to us, we think of the Holy Spirit as being judgmental. We listen to this and it sounds like it's doing a whole lot of judging. And it says it right here, in the mind of the thinker, you, then the Holy Spirit is judgmental, but only in order to unify your mind. Yeah, I'm your loving self. I'm going to be judgmental. I'm going to reject everything and everybody that does not cause you joy so that I can unify your mind. And how do I unify your mind? By getting your mind to only be focused on love, and by getting your mind only to be focused on the truth so that your mind can perceive without judgment. So we're using judgment to go beyond judgment. The Holy Spirit in you is using judgment to go beyond judgment. The love in you is using judgment to go beyond judgment. Now, the love in you, the Holy Spirit, is not teaching you, love is not teaching you to judge others. But love itself is judging because it's separating what's not love from what is love. And the things that you think that are partially loving, the love in you, the truth in you, accepts those thoughts and purifies those thoughts and heals those thoughts. And the love in you, the truth in you, rejects everything that does not love you. It rejects everything that does not give you love. The love in you, you would get to the point you'd rather be alone in the body than be around people who don't truly see you or love you or recognize you as you become more loving. So as you become more loving, you may experience what you think of as more rejection at first, because fearful people, guilty people, people who don't love themselves, ego minds, they reject love because they accept that they are only worthy of things that are not truly loving. So they're going to reject you. But an unloving, guilty mind, an unloving, guilty person rejecting you that person is protecting you. When someone rejects you, they are protecting you because they're not loving you. So they are moving away from you, which protects you. When you are a loving person and you are really getting into the loving part of your mind, people who are not loving yet, people who have not gotten to the point that they're willing to make the same decision that you're making for love yet, it's not at all unusual for those people to reject you. But their rejection of you is a protection for you, because that means a person who does not see you A person who does not appreciate you, a person who does not love you, is rejecting you, which means they're going to separate from you, which is going to give you in the long run or immediately more peace. In the mind of the thinker, then, the Holy Spirit is judgmental, but only in order to unify the mind. And so how can you tell when your mind is unified? So the mind can perceive without judgment. So your mind is unified when you're not judging. And there's no need to judge if you can see what's going on. Perceiving without judgment, this enables the mind to teach without judgment. If you're seeing without judging, then you also get to the point that you will learn to be without judgment. You now don't try to analyze that right now. Just know that there will be a time that you're going to see without judgment and be without judgment. There's going to come a time when you're going to be looking at everything without judging it because you simply know what it is. There's going to be a time that you're going to be without judgment. But right now, judgment is being used to get you beyond judgment. What kind of judgment? Being able to evaluate the difference between what? How love operates and how fear operates. And we were taught a lot of ways to tell the difference between the two. And so it says, the undoing is necessary. There's an undoing that's going on right now, an undoing of the wrong way of looking at things. So the undoing is necessary where? Where is the undoing of erroneous thinking necessary? In your mind, so that you will not project. So projecting is being undone. In other words, it's like I am no longer going to project what's going on inside of me onto you. I'm no longer going to project my thoughts, my fears, my anxieties onto you. In other words, I'm no longer going to be blaming you for my unhappiness because I am no longer projecting my stuff on you. And it says the undoing is necessary only in your mind so that you will not project instead of extend. So what is it I'm supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be extending to you instead of projecting my fear on you and my anger on you. I'm supposed to be extending the truth to you, extending freedom to you, extending instead of projecting. God Himself has established what you can extend with perfect safety. So love has established what you can give in total safety. Love is something that you would give feeling totally safe. So what that means, there is no such thing as fear or guilt in love. That's exactly right. Love is totally safe. Love is completely safe. So there is no guilt in love. There is no anger in love. There is no jealousy in love. There is no possessiveness in love. It says right here, God Himself, love itself, has established what you can extend with perfect safety. And what is it that you can extend with perfect safety? You can extend joy. You can extend love with complete safety. It's always safe to love. No matter what it looks like to your ego, your fear-based mind, it's always safe to truly love. And I'm talking about truly love. I'm not talking about the stuff that we've done called specialness. That's not true love. The Course in Miracles is saying there's a love beyond the kind that we've experienced, that there's a love beyond what we give to each other. But if it's love, it's always safe. God himself has established what you can extend with perfect safety. Therefore, the Holy Spirit's third lesson, love's third lesson is be vigilant only for God and God's kingdom, which means be vigilant only for the truth and its reality. Be vigilant only for love and its joy. Those are all definitions of those terms from the Course. So take a breath. Wow, I can't wait to go back to really hear how it's so clearly shown us how to tell the difference between love and fear and how to keep our joy going no matter what. If you found this moving and you feel moved by spirit, I would appreciate a financial expression of appreciation. And you could make a financial expression of appreciation at www.earlpurdy, Purdy.com, earlpurdy.com. And I'm also absolutely available to work with you to let go of those blocks to love so that you can have that joy once and for all. And I use my almost 40 years of experience with the Course in Miracles, as well as my 40 plus years experience as a soul astrologer and numerologist. There are many ways to get information, and astrology and numerology and all of those types of arts are other ways to get very valuable information from spirit. If you want to find out more about my sessions, which I call clarity sessions, go to my website, Earl Purdy, Purdy.com. And if you'd like to make a financial expression, I'm also in Venmo also. And my email is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. If you have Venmo, I'm opening up channels to receive. All right. Sunday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do A Course in Miracles before a live audience here on Facebook Live on the Earl Purdy page. And on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do another Facebook Live called The Way of Mastery, and that's 7 p.m. Mountain Times. And then Thursdays, I do what I call Hardcore Course in Miracles, which is what we did. And Hardcore Course in Miracles that's the Course in Miracles that's taken slow, sentence by sentence, hearing what it's saying, whether we agree with it or understand it or not. The Course in Miracles says your understanding is not a powerful contribution to the truth. So let's do a quick recap. Thank you, those of you who are encouraging people to have a clarity session with me and to share with me. So what did we hear? 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 We said before that love is evaluative, and love has to be evaluative. That the love in you, the Holy Spirit in you, sorts out the true from the false in your mind. And the Holy Spirit is telling you you need to judge every thought that you allow to enter your mind. You need to judge every thought that you need to enter your mind. You need to compare it to what the Course in Miracles is teaching, what love is teaching. And the Holy Spirit in you, the truth in you, it keeps whatever the loving thoughts that you have, and your loving part of you keeps the loving thoughts that you have to strengthen the love in you. But whatever you believe that's partially true, but not completely true, the love in you, the Holy Spirit in you accepts it and heals it and purifies it. But when you have some thoughts that are truly just screwed up thoughts that don't have anything to do with you being the beautiful, loving, holy being that you are, when you're thinking those crappy thoughts about yourself, the love in you rejects your crappy thoughts. The love in you rejects the crappy thoughts that you have about yourself or other people. But all of those crappy thoughts that the love in you rejects, the ego in you, the fear in you just drinks it up. So, oh yes, I'm not enough. Things don't go right for me. I'm such a victim. So your ego accepts the thoughts that the loving thought doesn't. Remember that whatever the Holy Spirit rejects, the ego accepts. What love rejects, fear accepts. Do you know that there's a part of you that's in total disagreement with you? That the loving part of you and the fearful part of you, they're in total disagreement with each other. That's why we go through conflict. Do you realize why we go through conflict? Because we got one part of us that thinks the way that the truth thinks, and then we got another part of us that thinks the way that the world thinks. And so there's one part of you that thinks that you are a priceless treasure of love, and there's another part of you that thinks that you are just a crappy, not enough, something wrong with you kind of being. And the Course in Miracles says that your ego, your fearful self, is always going through different ideas about who you are. You're such a moody person because you're always changing your mind about who you are. The love in you only sees you as love. I say the love in you only sees you as love. I say the love in you sees you as love, and that's the only way the love in you sees you. The only way the love in you sees you is as a beautiful, loving being. And because of that, the Holy Spirit in you, the love in you, just causes you joy, just causes you joy. And the love in you, that fabulous you rejects anything and everybody that would give you any kind of judgment and criticism or mistreat you or not recognize you. The love in you rejects what doesn't love you, and that's how it keeps you happy. Now, the Holy Spirit is not teaching you to judge others. The Holy Spirit doesn't want you to make the mistake that judging is the answer. But the Holy Spirit judges, because the Holy Spirit will never allow you to continue to think wrong about yourself. The love in you will never allow you to keep on not loving yourself. So that's why the love in you judges. The love in you judges. Now remember that you are ultimately going to be without judgment, because you're only going to know love. When you only know love, you will have no judgment, and so you will no longer project. Don't project. Don't project. That's the way that it works, because love is safe. Don't forget, if it's love, it's safe. And if it's love, it engenders joy. And understand that only God has established what you can extend with perfect safety. What is it that you can extend with perfect safety? What is it that you can extend with perfect safety? You can extend love and freedom and truth. Extend love and freedom and truth in perfect safety. In perfect safety. In perfect safety. Be vigilant only for God and His kingdom. Be vigilant only for God and His kingdom. Be vigilant only for love and its expression. Be vigilant only for love and its joy. Be vigilant only for love and its joy. Be vigilant only for God and His kingdom. Be vigilant only for God. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Be vigilant, and remember to be vigilant only for God. Remember to be vigilant only for God. Remember to be vigilant only for the truth. Remember only to be vigilant. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Reject everything that doesn't cause you peace. Reject it. Reject it. Reject it. Reject everything that doesn't cause you peace. Reject everything that doesn't cause you peace. Reject everything that doesn't give you peace. Reject everything that doesn't give you love. Reject it. Reject it. If it doesn't give you peace, reject that thought. Reject that thought. If it doesn't give you peace, reject that thought. Reject that belief. If it doesn't give you peace, That's how you keep yourself in peace. Mighty companions, I love you. I appreciate you. Please share this video on your timeline and know that I want you to know that you are entitled to miracles. Remember, don't forget.